Hey, welcome to the show. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a wonderful night. I got Kid Icarus, the Nintendo game, in the background tonight. Thanks to Nintendo Complete. This game, when I was growing up, is I didn't like the witch like chasing me. I've never liked anything chasing me in video games. I don't like anything chasing me in real life. It's just facts on facts on facts, you know. But what we got doing tonight? We're going into Monday. We're going into gas prices going up higher. We are dealing with this, and it's the war is getting more and more unsettling by the day. I talked to my friend today. He's sort of a red pilled slash mainstream media dude. He listens to Fox News occasionally and stuff, and he's basically saying all of the missile strikes on Israel are are like perfectly AI, and he knows people over there, and they're saying everything's just fine. Well, contrary to his belief, I don't believe that, but I don't have any proof. It's all speculation, just like anything else. But I've seen so many videos. It's just crazy that people still think that the West is so invincible when we're just like any other country. It's all strategic and craziness and fun, and we'll see what happens, and we're all just sitting here waiting. We don't know what's going on. They've turned off the live satellite feeds for the Middle East. So I believe that there's start of a great cover up, and we're going to get less and less news probably from here on out, because the worse things get for the Trump administration and for the Israelis, the more they're going to try to cover their butts. Got to cover your butts, you know. And that's my opinion. And everything's really just speculation right now of what's going to happen next. They're saying boots on the ground, but the military is basically telling him no. He wants to bring in ships, but the Navy's telling him no. And Trump is just he's saying that Iran's trying to get a off ramp, but at the same time he's trying to get an off ramp. But the only ones that can really give him an off ramp, as I told my friend today, is Iran. Because if they don't stop shooting missiles, the war doesn't end. It's like we could pack up all of our toys tomorrow and go home, and Iran can still be flopping missiles off in the Middle East, and the Strait Hormuz or whatever, however you say it, will still be closed, no matter what. It's not up to us anymore. It is up to the Iranians that are really pissed off right now because we killed their leader. We killed over a 140 school children using that. That's what scared me. That witch when I was a kid, when I first played this game, scared the hell out of me. So we used AI to pick out our bombing targets, and the U.S. was like, oh well, this school is still part of a military base, so I guess it's a hot target. So it's very crappy. It's a very crappy situation where we have a president that is blindly trying to basically gaslight us into bringing ground troops into a war that we probably shouldn't be in the first place, because our ally, he decided that they wanted to start the party without us, and we just had to follow in. And now we're here with our pants on the ground. Let's just be real, you know. That's how it played out. We were not ready for this conflict. From what I've heard from many of the retired generals and so on and so forth, it takes months to organize a ground attack like the one they're freaking talking about. It's like a Normandy invasion with drones and missiles chasing you. That's basically what this is. And then, not to mention, you have two of the other world superpowers that are joining in to help the other side. So it's basically two against one right now because we really can't call Israel a world superpower because it's basically a tool of the British Empire to keep the Middle East like lined up. That, that's all it is. It's like, okay, we need a foothold in the Middle East. We have Israel to constantly mess with its neighbors, and we'll use the United States as its military backbone. But then say it has this huge army and it can take care of itself when we sell them basically we basically sell them all of their military equipment. So it's just a way for the military industrial complex to basically funnel money into another country outside the United States. That's my opinion. That's my speculation, but that's what it looks like. So, are we comfortable with this war? Are are we comfortable allowing this to go on for weeks and months and so on and so forth with all the resources that come out of the Persian Gulf? But then everybody's like, oh, the midterms are going to be hell and all this crap and crazy crap. And the Democrats are going to retake the House and the Senate. Oh, well, they just might if this keeps up. But then you have to take into account, it's like you get the Democrats in and we go back to the same, basically the like the same status quo of the first Trump administration, where they're trying to constantly impeach people and lock people up, and Giuliani is going to get raided again, and we can't have that, but we can't have this war at the same time either. So it's a very sticky it's this very sticky situation that we can only call out to a certain point because the polls are only going to show so much. The polls are going to be like, well, people hate this war, and but it's going to keep on going because the powers to be want this war. But then the powers that be on one side are also the ones that are keeping the Democrats in check. So that's what I'm saying. It's a very sticky situation that the Republicans can't lose the presidency, and it's going to be very hard to maintain the House and Senate with this kind of a shit test, basically, because that's what this is. They're seeing what they can get away with, just like the Epstein files, because it's the Epstein war that we're engaged in. Because 2 weeks after Epstein files dropped, we have a war that everybody's been basically talking about for the past 30 plus years because we knew it was coming. We knew the war was coming. I say that over and over again. We should not be surprised that actually happened. It's just the way that it started. That's the big problem. That's the rub. I think everybody is that witch used to scare the hell out of me. That's the rub that we're dealing with. Is that it was started on someone else's terms, and we weren't ready. And it's gross. And Trump ran as the peace president, but at the same time as he's running as the peace president, the CIA is trying to assassinate Putin. He went into Venezuela. That was like a video game. I was surprised at that. When I woke up that morning, I was like, "Holy cow, that really happened!" So he got a freebie basically. He got a freebie with the Venezuela ordeal. I think in the America's eyes, that was his free war that he pulled off. But this Iran thing, this isn't free. This this could go on for months because, as I said, it's not on our terms. It is on the Iranian government's terms. And if they feel like they're in the driver's seat, they're going to keep this thing going. And if I were them, why not? You know, it's like what are they? It's like what do they really have to? What do they really have to lose by keeping this thing going, to where they can starve out two of their biggest enemies in the world, where they can just take missile strikes and so on and so forth, and it's spread out over this big old mountainous country that everybody's like, oh, well, they got nothing there. Yeah, but they've been waiting for this for 20 years. We've been talking about this forever. It's not like they don't pay attention and be like, okay, well, oh, this is brand new. They just know we've been talking about invading Iran forever, forever. So that's the hook, line, and sinker of the situation, folks. We are just sitting here, just watching history. But let's go into the war map. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got for the day. Get over here. All right, so this there's not a lot here. There's a lot of dots as usual. We did drop some bombs. Yay, we dropped some bombs. Okay, cool. But what did we blow up? Endless shock and awe. Commander was killed in airstrikes. Okay, well, we've killed a lot of people. So, wave airstrikes in Western earlier today targeted several Iranian headquarters belonging to Corps, Parliament Force, the Korean military, expanded strikes against Iranian structure and central. But did they kill anybody? That's the big thing. Were there people there? Citing of security sources, 3 drones in Iranian opposition camp. Kurds. So they're going after the Kurds here because they're anticipating a Kurdish invasion, which the Kurds have said basically, as a few days ago, supposedly they don't want to have anything to do with it, so they are not being a part of it. It's pretty quiet over here. 19, 20 hours ago. This is not really updated. Well, Afghan warning announces the start of large-scale wave of airstrikes in western Iran. But as a ex-military personnel said in an interview earlier today, they're just targeting the western part of the country because they can't get into the east. So what's stopping Iran from keeping all of its resources on the eastern part of the country? Nothing. Because yeah, it's like all of the attacks have been here. There really hasn't been very many attacks over here as of late. But let's look at the other one. Let's look at the other map. We've got 2 maps here. This one just shows everything at once, and it's sort of overwhelming because this is like crew abandoning the ship. That happened like 4 days ago. That's old news. It's old news, not fake news, just old news. Is there a way to get Print map, details. Download. Map details. So done. Published. Yeah, it's. I like that view better. So this is everything all at once. And you can see how the eastern part of the country is basically unscathed as of late. Not to say that that's not going to be a thing later, but yeah, look at all this concentrated attacks on Tehran. Iran so far away. Gotta get away. So yeah, this is everything at once basically. Rockets launched at Israel. This was March 11th. That was 4 days ago. But okay, so what we got going on? Can someone please explain that oil prices are crashing? That's 1 hour ago. Breaking, according to some state-run media, American is going to test something big tonight. So we're going to see something big tonight. 10 hours ago. Mr. Jones. People's promise they will hunt down Netanyahu. So that big old speculation about Netanyahu being dead is... I'm not going to give it any water. I'm not going to look at this nurse sitting in her room. She forgot had a sharp tool in hand. She started pulling forcibly. Looked like, yeah, that was crazy. Epstein archives going viral as people start to realize who he is. Who is he? I don't recognize him. First time in history, an missile successfully struck the underground bunker building in Tel Aviv 5 hours ago. Lots of crazy stuff going on, folks. Twitter or X. It's the Wild Wild West, folks. It's the Wild Wild West. And Maritime Traffic Control still has it. The strait is still closed. Iranian cargo. So we still have all these ships just chilling out here. All these ships still chilling out here. Basically sitting targets, sitting ducks. They're sitting ducks in a row. The ducks, the ducks, the ducks. Quack, quack, quack. Waiting for the at to show up. Yes. Or, worst case scenario, Kong and Vonzilla. You know, that's the worst thing that can happen, folks. But we don't want Trump to turn into Darth Vader. So we have to keep Trump in check. I am your father. I am your father. While all of his children are supposedly making buku bucks off this war because they're investing in the military-industrial complex, which is terrifying. We don't need that. We need the Trump to be Trump. We need Trump to go back to no more wars, and focus on domestic issues instead of international issues. But we'll take the Cuba though. We'll take the oil in Cuba. We'll make those deals. We'll put up resorts. We'll make it a travel destination because it is a beautiful place. It looks really cool, but look at all these ships. Just so nuts. That is the shipping. It's so crazy to see stuff like this. And I don't really feel bad about showing this because this is basically free knowledge. You know, it's open source free knowledge. This is, you can just go on this website and just click on any ship in the world. So unlike that dude a few nights ago that was basically parading targets for the Iranians to attack, that was crazy. That that dude, he's like, conservatives are so pissed off. They're going at me. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I replied to the post with that video from Civil War. What kind of American are you? Because at this point in time, let's look that up. Kind of American are you? So if you've seen Civil War, you've you've seen this clip, and everybody's pissed off. Like, well, that's what's happening in America. Well, when you're at war, when you're in a wartime, you don't do what that dude did. You don't share military targets. You just don't do that because you're putting all those people's lives at risk, and tens of if not hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in military assets at risk. So this is a really good clip, and whether you're a leftist or Republican or whatever you want to call yourself, in the end, we all survive because of these kinds of people, because of the door kickers. Everybody's like, oh, the totalitarian. It's like, if you don't have door kickers, you can't sleep good at night because you're going to have the threat of someone breaking into your house. So, yes, that Civil War, good movie. You should go check it out. That's a crazy scene. That's a really crazy scene. But hey, it's just a movie. It's not real life. Here's new video of Netanyahu published in the last few minutes. In footage, he meets with one of his advisors. Okay, cool story. Is this AI? The internet is just the internet's like a rabid dog that just keeps on. Or I wouldn't really call it rabid dog. I would call it, well, part rabid dog, part hound dog. Oh, where it's part hound dog, where the sleuths go down the rabbit hole and they don't stop until they supposedly try to find the truth. And this whole Netanyahu's dead. It's not a good thing. It's it's dangerous. It's the stepping. It's the cobblestone path to the road to hell, basically, because we should not wish death and destruction on anybody because that's just not who we should be. Because it's a dangerous precedent because you basically dehumanize everybody at that point. And you start to act like a bunch of like bloodthirsty morons. We don't got time for that. We don't have time for bloodthirsty morons. We already have Darth Vader. He was bloodthirsty. He chose the dark side. We do not need to choose the dark side. We need to choose the light. Because cockroaches run when the lights get flipped on, but they feast in the dark. Because in the light, they get stepped on and taken out. All right, well, I'm going to end this video, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Because independent media is independent media. This is going to be on Rumble, Twitter, and CommieTube. Call it CommieTube now because YouTube is straight up just blocking people's videos now. They are hardcore censoring them. And that's gross. It's one of the biggest video platforms in the entire world, yet it censors the people that make it possible. Pretty ridiculous. But Google can basically do whatever they want because it's Google. But anyway, like and subscribe to the video. Everybody have a wonderful night. Happy Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.